Welcome to Grawlix Nights, the Grawlix Podcast live show. I'm Randy.
I'm Melanie.
And I'm Jesse. I'm just stunned by his eyes.
What's wrong with my eyes?
that really helps out our audio listeners. But yeah, so stunned I couldn't even introduce myself. There's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with him.
Oh no. Okay. Welcome to Grawlix Podcast. What's going on, everybody? I personally love AI art and just AI technology in general, because then you get stuff like this. Totally natural. Is this increasing our engagement? Is this increasing?
Oh man, you can't miss it. The AI won't let you. It's like the Mona Lisa kind of thing where it just follows you around the room.
It gives me like this expression that I've never had in my life.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, tonight we're going to talk about maybe Mandalorian. I don't know. Jesse, have you watched episode 2 of season 3?
Yes.
Okay. Melanie and I are not caught up on Last of Us. I understand it's a doozy.
Yeah.
Instead,
At least the
I've
ending. It's kind of like the one before where it's just like, whoa, that was an ending.
Oh, yeah, they're real good about that.
Yeah.
I've been forcing my recent anime fix onto Melanie. We've been watching One Piece here and there.
Yep.
I figured I'd jump over to One Piece. It's only got over 1,000 episodes, so that should last me a while.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to wing it. Before we were talking, what were we talking about just before we went live? We were talking about AI stuff. And you were talking about that TikTok filter, like that beauty filter or whatever, that's very convincing or very...
Yeah, and
it's
not
flawless.
Glitchy.
It's like not... Yeah. And that got me thinking about... so I was watching... there's a YouTube channel, CoffeeZilla. He covers like scams and stuff like that. He's pretty cool. He's definitely... whatever. A few months ago, he had a couple of videos... about a Logan Paul scam, and those kind of blew up.
That guy is a scam. Period.
Right. So his channel kind of blew up, but CoffeeZilla was recently on the Joe Rogan Experience, which is
a scam. Period.
Which I'm not a fan of Joe Rogan Experience, but it's definitely, I guess, notable if you're
a scam.
Be a scam. Anyway, they were talking about my whole point of this, because we were talking about AI, and they were talking about there's some apparently deep fake scam, deep fake Joe Rogan, basically videos, ads for some supplement that Joe Rogan has nothing to do with, and somebody deep faked it, right? Did the voice and the video and all that. And if you're paying close attention, it's a little weird at times, but it's convincing enough. Like, if you're not paying close attention, you're like, oh, cool, Joe Rogan's shilling some supplement, which is totally not surprising. But you were talking about the TikTok thing, and I was thinking about this earlier, about the deep fake, basically like, because that hits influencers, like that's going to become a big problem, because influencers, like their whole, like they make money off basically promotional crap, right? Like they get a big following and then they just get thrown money by companies to promote their junk. And I feel like deep fakes are, I guess, a bad thing for their livelihood, but I don't know that the whole influencer marketing, I guess, is the best. I don't know. I just don't think it's the best thing for people in general, because influencers don't do their due diligence when like agreeing to stuff. and they'll shill just some real crap at people. But all this to say, I feel like in the future, as if you would think people would be used to it by now, but I think in the future you truly won't be able to believe anything you see on the internet at all.
Except the Grawlix podcast. So Magic Spoon, if you want us to do a commercial for cereal.
To be fair, I feel like we are a good fit for Magic Spoon.
Yeah.
I will shill some. To be honest, I want them to send me some free cereal. I don't even care about the money.
I don't even care if you guys buy it.
I see those Magic Spoon ads on some YouTube videos I watch, and a couple times I've been like, oh man, I'll take cereal. Some of that is a peanut butter cereal. Man.
Yeah. If even one of them tastes good, I'm in.
Then I'll go to the website and I'll be like, I don't know if I'll look at the price, and it's not insane.
No. Yeah, I think you can get it at Target now. I think you could actually buy it in a retail store. So
Okay.
So those commercials are really working, and they'd be working even better on the Grawlix podcast.
Right. I mean, look at our metrics. You can't. I can see it. Oh, interesting. It tells us where the viewers are specifically now, at least for me when I... Oh, useful. Hello over on YouTube, whoever's watching over there.
It's me.
Is it?
Yeah.
So you're on YouTube, okay.
I'm trying to share the link, so yeah.
Hi, Jesse. Over on YouTube. You want to buy some Magic Spoon?
Yeah, I do. I do. So I want you to buy a Magic Spoon, too.
Basically, Magic
YouTube.
Spoon. Sponsor us, and we'll sell it to ourselves, basically.
Yeah, we will.
That's how sponsorships work, right?
Does now. This is the future.
Anyway, you can't believe anything that you see on the internet. It's a thing people say, but people still do it. And I think in the future with deepfakes and whatever else, AI, voiceovers, you really won't be able to. And I think if people take it to heart, I don't know that that's a bad thing. I mean, it is, because the internet is potentially an amazing communication tool, but if you just can't trust anything that's on there, I mean, maybe people will start exercising better judgment. Just don't trust anything you see.
Yeah, I was going to say, or they just won't believe anything ever.
Yeah,
that's a world of cynical jerks. Cynical jerk faces that I don't believe in climate change. I don't believe in anything, an afterlife, a benevolent spiritual presence. I don't believe in the government. I don't believe in my toes. Nothing.
In your toes?
I used to believe in my toes, and I seen pictures of them on the internet. I don't know how they got there.
Yep,
No, I don't believe anything.
Those don't look real.
You took it to an extreme. I was going to say, do you want flat earthers? That's how we get flat earthers. But
that is how we get flat earthers, but yeah. That's how you get flat toesers.
You don't want that.
No. Do you want flat toesers?
Do you want flat toes?
Do you want those toes? You are you can't handle those toes.
The problem is that eyes don't react right.
The filter does not understand where your glasses are at all.
Hi, Savannah. I don't like it. You wouldn't know by my eyes, but I don't like this.
Oh boy, the doozers, you know,
it's creepy.
Doozers, I like that.
Oh, I hadn't anticipated the creepy factor of that whole thing. Okay. I'm worn out. What are we talking about? Hey.
Yeah.
Well, hey, what you two been up to lately? What you been watching? Anything? How you two doing? I guess I should say. Yeah, I don't like it either, Savannah. I don't like it. I will continue to do it. No, I will do it again. But not the whole show.
Right after you say I will continue to do it, we get this text that says, please stop it.
I'll just sit here and little pop. Pop.
Right. It's a little easier to handle when it's small, but when when zoomed in and in your face, it's just like I can't ignore it.
The
at all.
laughing with it is the funniest thing to me, I think. It's also the creepiest.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Does not know how to size those eyes to your head.
No.
Like sometimes they're too small, sometimes they're way too far apart. Sometimes they're going through your glasses.
To be fair, I got a lot of real estate for it to work with. I don't blame it for being
like-
confused, but still.
It's gonna be a Picasso painting before that filter's done with you.
So, what have we been consuming lately? As I said, One Piece, it's whatever, anime series has been going for like 13 years or something. How did I forget this? We watched something, but we cannot, as badly as we are going to want to, we cannot fully discuss it until we wait for the proper episode, because Melanie and I also, Jesse, watched On the Bearable Weight of Massive Talent. Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal. It was very enjoyable.
I was to say, you loved it though, right? We could say that much.
It was very good. It's interesting because I will say I applaud the filmmakers for being disciplined, and what I mean is, like, you could have went wild with the scenes where he's with young Nick Cage, right?
Yeah.
Kind of did a little bit anyway.
The kissing scene between Nick Cage and young Nick Cage was amazing.
Oh my god.
But
I was not ready for that at all. Like, I knew this movie was going to go weird. I did not realize he was going to talk to himself.
But
Make
they
out
kept
with himself.
Is to make out with, but they only did that a handful of times, and otherwise, like, I kind of wish they hadn't have stuck so much to like the plot, but maybe it was probably smart. Excuse me, that was not proper. But I will echo things I've seen in several other reviews. I will echo the sentiment that I could take 2 hours of Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal on LSD writing a screenplay.
Yes. Man, that would have been enough right there.
I could have done with a little less plot and more buddy, hanging out buddy comedy thing.
I was there for it. Yeah.
But I mean, even with the plot, it was still fun. There's ridiculous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Jesse, you had, I'm telling you like you didn't know. Jesse had messaged us about it, teased us that he was watching it, and so I had to rent it too. I don't rent a lot of movies these days, but I rented that one.
I want to know. So Savannah asks if we want to know the thoughts of Nick Cage, and I need commentary for this movie. I need behind the scenes features. I need deleted scenes. I need as much information about this movie and how it was made as possible.
I do know in interviews when he was promoting the movie a while back with the rest of the crew, he'd get asked about like what it was like, to be Nick Cage playing Nick Cage in a movie about Nick Cage, in a fictitious movie about Nick Cage. And he said in interviews, it was trippy. And there's a line in the movie where he walks in. I think it might be when he walks into like the Nick Cage Museum, basically, and he's like, and he says that's trippy, and I'm like, yeah, but that's kind of how he's feeling most of the time. Like, what is this?
Right. It's an abomination. I'll give you 1,000 for it.
Yeah. How much did you pay for this? He was like 9,000. I'll give you 20,000 for it.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's how he got in the situation he's in today.
That's true.
There was so much fun. Like there were just scenes straight out of Leaving Las Vegas. There were just, shot for shot recreations of stuff. It was fun.
I wasn't expecting because he's Nick Cage and they reference actual Nick Cage movies that he's been in, but and this without going into spoilers, I know Savannah says she wants to see it still. You should. You're gonna enjoy it a lot, I think. But it's established early on that they're straight up doing the like cliche separated parents. He works too much, and there's the daughter, like there's the like connection thing, and it's so cliche at this point. But the fact that they're doing that story, except the character is Nick Cage, that was amusing to me. I'm gonna guess that does not echo anything of his actual life, which kind of seems to be the point of, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was like truly fictional because like Holly was like, "Is that actually his daughter?" And we're like, "I don't think so."
Melanie, Melanie asked the same thing. Is that actually his daughter? I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean,
and then once they got into it, I was like, oh, yeah, no, definitely not. They're doing the like.
Right.
It's not to say maybe he does have those problems in his life, but I doubt it. Not quite like that anyway.
not that no, because yeah, that person was like, not that Nick Cage is. I mean, he's a huge star. He is, but he has. I don't know that he's won any awards in a long time. But that doesn't necessarily matter either. But you know, the guy is supposed to have been a has-been that whose last movie was a long time ago. That's obviously not this Nick Cage. So even though they brought up some of the movies that he actually has been in recently, because they said something about Mandy.
Well, yeah, no, I think it was he hadn't had like movie star role. He's been doing more respectable roles and smaller, just like working roles and, you know, whatever. But he hasn't had like National Treasure or Gone in 60 Seconds or
back,
The
baby.
Rock.
Not that
whatever,
we went
Con Air.
anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. He hasn't had like the big star blockbuster movie star roles for a while. Ron Howe. Oh, wait. Hey, Eddie, what's going on? It's nice to see you here.
Hey-o!
Oh, the YouTube's hashtag big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're always on the YouTubes.
See, it's not just me watching us on YouTube.
How weird. Yeah, you're right. Hey. Oh, we lost one just now. But I was going to say, we actually have a... Hey, what's up, everybody? We got somebody on Twitch, on Facebook, and 2 people on YouTubes.
Cool.
Nice.
Big time.
Eddie says the whole movie is a cameo, just bonkers, and he loves it. That's a good way to look at it.
I do have Wesley Crusher behind me. And Kevin Costner.
Yep. And I just wanted to respond also to Savannah. Had said something about society being obsessed with specific people, like at one point it was Chuck Norris. And they do that. And Nick Cage is one, but Nick Cage has been one for a really, really long time, I feel like. Because I remember in the beginning of our relationship, because Randy used to not care for Nick Cage, I put a thing on the computer so that every picture was Nick Cage.
I panicked for a moment. Yeah, she put a browser extension on that turned every single picture into a picture of Nick Cage, regardless where you went to. And my first thought was like, I got hacked. What's going on? Yeah. Well, listen, Nick Cage, because he's embraced the meme, I think, and that's carried over to the movie roles. I don't know. I liked Nick Cage when he started getting roles that were appropriate for Nick Cage. I don't the I'm back, baby, the big movie star Nick Cage, and I know I'm not gonna make fans. Although Leaving Las Vegas, that's like Oscar worthy performance. Yeah. But like Con Air, like when he became big action star, I was like,
right. Face
leading
Off
man action Nick Cage? What is this? I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
The Rock.
That's still so strange. He's quirky. He's a quirky actor. He's quirky in everything, so he fits in quirky movies, in my mind.
Yeah, I agree.
Savannah says she needs to know how to do that. The browser thing.
You probably look it up online, but I'll look it up sometime and show you if I don't.
Is it just Nick Cage, or can I put, like Will Wheaton on somebody's computer? God, I don't know why I'd ask that. So random and specific.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I bet you could probably easily find a code to do that, though.
Okay. Wesley Crusher would figure it out. Mm-hmm. Dude's a genius.
And if he couldn't, he'd talk to some. Wait, was that him? Talk to some dolphins that could do it. That was him, right? He was in that dolphin movie or show.
Wesley Crusher could talk to anything, including dolphins. Pretty sure. He's a time traveler.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think anybody who traveled in space faster than light would have to be considered a time traveler, I think. But I could be wrong. I don't know.
Right. Word. Sorry. I looked away
Yeah.
long enough for
everyone to lose where we're at.
Oh, Eddie's getting serious in the comments.
Oh,
man.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, yeah, I listened since this is almost like, what have you been listening to? What have you read?
Right.
I did listen to Will Wheaton's memoirs. Like, he did a redo of his memoirs. Like, what is it? Like an annotated, right? Like for the anniversary of Just a Geek, which was his memoirs. And it's interesting because he goes back and he basically, you know, it's like seeing what you wrote when you were in your 20s or early 30s, I suppose, and the way that we thought and the way that we talked back in the 90s and early aughts, and now seeing that as like he's like 50 now, so like as a 50-year-old man and being like, dude, not cool. And then also he's been dealing with having to essentially close contact off with his family entirely. You know, like his mom essentially got him into acting. He asks, you know, as a 7-year-old, like, hey, can I stop doing this and just be a kid? I don't want to act. I don't want to be an actor. And his mom was like, nope, you're an actor. You're doing this. This is your dream, remember? And his father basically, you know, didn't care. Like, yeah. Yeah, there's all sorts of trauma and whatnot that's happened. And he's eventually just had to, like, write them out. And just put up a boundary and stop contact with his family pretty much entirely. So it's sad.
Well, along those lines, let's talk about Batman for a second.
Okay. All right. You mean Michael Keaton then, yeah? Since we're talking about people that have been abusive and problematic.
No. I actually don't know this.
Not Batman. Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller's been problematic
right.
and abusive.
Right. No, actually, there were a couple Batman stories. I figured since we're just kind of riffing,
Sure.
that I noticed. I can't even find the one that I was reading earlier today that I wanted to talk about. But that was basically the Penguin spin-off thing, the live action series, I guess they're doing with whatever that's based on the Penguin from the recent The Batman movie. Keaton rhymes with Wheaton.
It does. It's like poetry we're making.
They suspect they're aiming for it's a series, so it wouldn't be R, but it'd be a TVMA or whatever. Because they've been filming scenes in New York City.
Get her.
And I was waiting for it because that popped in my advertising, man. That popped in my head
sticks.
too.
Yeah.
Where'd that go? They still doing that? They still doing that commercial?
Pecani sauce?
Yeah.
They're still doing paste pecani.
Okay, well, they need to bust those commercials out again.
They really do.
Well, you know, I don't like commercials. Nobody does. But if I have to watch ads, I would much rather watch an ad for something like that than the stupid crap they try to advertise to me on my phone or computer all the time.
All right. But so they're filming out in public. So of course there's been like little people taking cell phone videos and posting them, and some of the dialogue they heard, what's his name, Colin Farrell, delivering definitely infers that they're going for an adult-oriented series because he's dropping F-bombs, and it's not like the PG-13, you get one F-bomb. It's just like casual F-bombs as they're filming this thing, as the character. So, adult-oriented Penguin show. There you go.
Wasn't that kind of what that one
Danny
Gotham
DeVito was kind
turned
of
into?
pretty creepy too.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Why Penguin? But you wouldn't assume so with Penguin, but you're right. When Penguin goes live action, ever since the 90s,
It's weird.
it gets weird. I don't know the Quiznos rats. I miss the Domino's. Was it the Domino's Noid or whatever it was that would steal your pizza freshness? I
Oh,
want
you
that guy
didn't
to
get
come back.
claymation creepers?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Avoid the Noid.
Oh yeah. I want that back.
Right. Pizza.
That's Little Caesars.
Oh yeah. Well, they can battle it out.
Yeah. And then the Spot that lives inside of a 7-Up can, but has sunglasses somehow.
Man, there's so many good commercials from when we were
Yeah.
young.
It's not easy being cheesy.
Batman 2 will start filming in November.
Like the Batman too.
The Batman 2.
Okay.
I hope they give it a better title than that.
Yeah.
I would really hope they do.
Yeah, like the Batman 2, but spell it Too.
The Batman 2.
2 also. The Batman also. And it could be Azrael. They could do that storyline, the Breaking the Bat, and then you have Azrael, and he could be the Batman also too. That'd be great. Let's do it.
I feel like they're going to get into some crazy stuff once the James Gunn plan starts rolling out. I find it weird to do a Batman and the Brave and the Bold as like their Batman, whatever.
Did we talk about Ant-Man? Did I talk about that last week?
Yes.
Quantumania? Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. It's trippy. It's not as bad as people say, but it's also not that great either. So it's like, it would have made a great Disney Plus show. I think I just recapped the entire recap from last week.
Wait, is it not a Disney Plus show?
No, but it'd be so much better if it was.
Okay.
Because
Right.
there's a lot there that they really just crunched into it. And I think it needed time to breathe. Like, you just went into a weird dimension of sight and sound that lives microscopically below us. So,
I think they trade people too fast because I thought that Disney owned Marvel now.
Wait, what?
yes. Disney does own Marvel. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it? It's not a Marvel movie.
It's a Marvel movie. It's just not a Marvel show. Like
Okay.
the way She-Hulk was a show. and the
Oh,
way that
yeah.
Okay.
Hawkeye was a show. And
You're
it would
saying
have
the
been better
movie
as
would
a show.
Yes. The movie
Okay.
would have been better served to be a series rather than a big blockbuster
Oh,
movie.
okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they probably couldn't afford to pay Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer
Yeah,
and
of course.
Paul Rudd.
Michelle Pfeiffer's in it.
Yeah. She's Janet Van Dyne.
Ah.
You definitely talked all about this movie last week. And Melanie was here.
I know.
But
And she
is
was
she
one of
ever
the best
really
parts
here?
of the movie. Yeah. Yeah. but yeah, Melanie's like, Michelle Pfeiffer was in it and she was good? Yes.
I
She
can
was the
vouch.
best.
Melanie was rather toasted after the last episode. She was
Before, you mean?
sure, but I know
Before, during,
after.
and after.
I know after you were like, I might have drank 2 monsters and a little bit of alcohol a little quickly. I was like, oh, that
Oh,
makes a little
fine.
sense.
That will do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
It'll make monsters of all of us.
Hey, so Batman Cape Crusader is an animated series that was happening from J.J. Abrams, Matt Reeves, who has directed The Batman, and Batman animated series creator Bruce Timm, right? So this was an animated thing that was supposed to be happening for HBO Max. People were excited because of the people involved. And it got the axe. Well, Amazon swooped in and saved it and gave it a 2-season order. So Batman Cape Crusader is going to go over to Amazon. I told you I got Batman news. I got Batman news. Even more bats and cats. Batman 2 2.
Two. Yeah, that'd be great.
More cats, bats, and ballerinas.
Now you put
'Cause
that
of
with
the
the
choo-choo.
crow. You know, you make that a crow crossover, and you'd have cat dancing with the cats.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what?
Bats, cats, crows, feathers, fur. claw.
Adult oriented penguin shows, the Batman 2, more bats. You could do all this, but until you start adapting, what was that? Bat dancing. Was that Grant Morrison Batman? No, who was that?
That was the Batusi, right? Like,
No.
No.
Bat dancing came from, because we read it shortly after we read The Crow, and that's where cat dancing came from, because he'd
Right.
get all like emotional and like dance with his cat.
Yeah.
right.
And then we read, it's the story where Batman gets stuck in Arkham Asylum
Oh yeah, okay.
for a bunch, and it goes like way dark and way out there, and he's like cutting himself and throwing himself around. So, Batman, as he does, a little
Sure.
self-cutting.
Jeez.
We thought, sparkly vampire Batman was emo. No, I want to see him adapt that bat dancing, where you got
Oh man.
emo cutter Batman throwing himself around Arkham Asylum.
And the craziest of the crazies, like Maxie Zeus was in that. Like they went,
Right.
Yeah, they dug deep and got the real weirdos.
Was that Grant Morrison? Who was it?
I don't know who wrote that, but yeah, yeah, the art's just crazy in that.
Yeah.
It's like a fever dream.
I love those ones.
You'd have to reach back a few years into our catalog,
Yeah.
because you have
Catalog.
9 years to cat dance-a-log.
But that'd be appropriate on our birthday anniversary.
Yeah. Got 9 years of Grawlix you can reach back through. They're pretty well documented up to the last, 3. And then it's kind of a crapshoot.
Right.
You'll find some stuff here and there. Dirty Bat Dancing Guano Night.
Guano Nights.
Episode title.
Wella.
Okay, that's enough of my forced Batman news.
So the
Andy's-
Mandalorian then.
Andy Serkis unsure how Alfred fits into Batman sequel. It's a weird story.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
said you were done. Stop it.
Stop trying to make
Mandalorian.
the Batman happen.
I know, I'm sorry.
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. Back to Pedro Pascal.
We have a bat quota.
Do we?
Yeah, Mandalorian, season 3, episode 2. We watched this just today. I liked it.
Me too.
I liked this better than the first episode. It was fun. It was good fun. I really liked that, I liked the setting in that big city underground.
Yeah. I can almost forgive just how dang fast that first episode went. Now that, it's like, it was getting us here. It was like, listen,
Right.
You don't want us to spend forever on this. Just let him mansplain everything to the baby, and we'll get there. Okay? Mm-hmm. Yes, the little droid. Yeah.
You're right. I guess we kind of talked about that a little bit on the first episode, but Baby Yoda, which I'm pretty sure is his actual canonical name, Baby Yoda.
Well, even Pedro Pascal has accidentally called him Baby Yoda on that.
Oh.
It was a Graham Norton show, and they were like, "Oh, I just called him Baby Yoda. I'm not supposed to do that."
Yeah. They're corporate's weird about that.
Right.
They're very particular on that point. You can't fight it.
No.
It is what it is, guys. Just call him Baby Yoda.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
I think this episode. Sorry, I think this episode was less for the Mandalorian and more for the chick, so that she can regain her faith. 'Cause he's-
Yeah. It was more interesting from that point of view. I think
Yeah.
was getting to see what's her name again. I just watched it.
Boba DeLorean.
Starbuck.
I hate Star Wars names. I hate Star Wars names. They always have such ridiculous
Katie
names.
Sackhoff.
Yeah.
That's who it is.
Okay. She. I don't know. What's a manicore? Because it sounds like it should be a man that's a unicorn.
A manicore? Manicore is like a lion with like a scorpion tail and crazy wings and yeah.
Oh, what? It lives in the
Manicore's
waters?
like crazy.
They live in the waters of Mandalorian?
No, that was maybe a kraken or some kind of dragon. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So Melanie was talking about Manicore earlier, and I only know this because then I seen a headline about this. That thing in the water was a mythosaur.
Oh, mythosaur.
What?
Apparently, that's according.
Mythosaur.
I misheard. I'm sorry. I thought you said manicore.
A mythosaur from Mandalore in the show Mandalorian.
Mythosaur from Mandalore. How? That's cute.
They're so cheeky.
I like it. I want the story about him or her
So-
or whatever it is.
So
I'm
the
not going
water,
to assume it's gender.
the water
They.
then is living water. Is it living because there's things living in it,
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
or I mean, I don't know. But it was a lot deeper than I
Porkins.
thought it was going to be.
I could get behind if they stuck with that stupid naming scheme of like Porkins, and he's like a pig-looking creature. That makes sense.
Right.
I get it. But yeah, Star Wars names are terrible. Eddie agrees with me because they're like Bulba Scorn Skull. I can't even do it. I can't. There is a very particular like naming scheme that I can't nail down, but I don't like it. It very rarely sounds cool.
Hey yo, we got all the viewers tonight. We've got
We'll take that.
some Meridian 59 love. We've got some You Choose podcast love. Paranormal Dad over there. We got the Savannahcron. We got the Mythosaur. We got
So we have the Mythosaur.
YouTube Jesse just checking in once in a while to bump
That's
our
right.
numbers and sell Magic Spoon cereal.
Yeah, Jesse, have you ever heard of
To
Magic
us.
Spoon? We're not sponsored, but we figure if we start selling it to ourselves, maybe they'll start paying us.
Yeah, then maybe
that's,
they'll. Yeah,
that's how buying things works.
I'm
right?
in. I'm sold already. To myself. It's probably. I don't even know if it's good, but sounds like the kind of thing I would maybe eat.
What was that cool creature that drove the robot suits around? Who basically was
I
in a
don't
robot
know.
suit
That
within
thing
a robot
was cool
suit?
and really creepy. I kept
Yeah.
thinking, is this like a General Grievous type of thing? But then they kind of hinted like, what else could still be alive?
Right. I that thing was super cool. It was creepy, and I liked that it was just like had the big suit and it hopped out in a smaller suit, and then
Yeah.
she messed that
It's
thing
just
up, and
an
it's
eyeball.
like, whoop. Then the head pops off, and I was like, whoa, yeah, super
It's like
cool.
it's like an eyeball in a glass jar that can move.
My first thought when I seen the big thing and you get the close up of the eye, and I was like, oh, it's like a super Dalek, man, because it kind of had a little bit of that look of some weird little mutated creature with one eye in a big suit.
So, do we think that it was it used to be a human, or not necessarily human, but like a person?
I don't know. I think it was just a creature, but I could be wrong.
Well, creatures are people too. I meant, is it biological, or is it just like a weird droid thing?
See,
I think
yeah,
it was
you got it.
biological, but I think it became a weird droid thing.
Yeah.
Dabadoo.
Hando Stabadoo. That sounds like Vader's real name. Dandaron. Yeah, these do sound like stupid Star Wars names. They do. What's your name? Well, it's Standor Bigarons. Okay, is that
Yeah, that's-
really your name, or is that just your porn name? Ron Jeremy. You know, Star Wars names could also be Hobbit names. These sound like Hobbit names, too. Cracks Brickadung. Yep. All right. From the Shire, clearly.
I think Eddie's cracked the code on these.
He really has, yeah. Just pretend you're from the Shire. You could be in a galaxy far, far away. These also all sound like Muppet names, man. And Disney owns it all, except for
Frockadank.
except for the Shire, I guess. They don't own the Shire yet. And the
Perb is a name. I could see Perb's fun, but also
Simpson Perb.
Yeah, there you go.
Doofenshmirtz.
You know what I think makes me like Mandalorian more is when the credits hit and they have that cool like retro sci-fi
concept art is really cool,
and it's so detailed and so good, and I'm like, yeah, that's why I like the show, because it feels like watching that art tell a story.
It really does. It's like, we just watched that story, but look at this art. This is like, what if we were telling the story after the story to our grandkids?
Right. Well, it's like fantasy movies and like 80s fantasy movies had cool posters, and like sci-fi books and old school sci-fi books and fantasy books had cool art, and it's kind of like that kind of vibe. But like when you books are different, but when you watch like an 80s fantasy movie, it doesn't really necessarily feel like that art. Like the art sells it pretty good. Then you watch it and it's some freaking kid eating an apple in an attic in modern day. And you're like,
are you talking about the Never-Ending Story?
Amongst other things, sure. Or it's a freaking Wonder Years.
I'm a luck dragon.
Right. I mean, what Never-Ending Story is amazing. So I'm not.
It is amazing.
Trashing it, but it does well to capture the feel of like what that art. I kind of group that. I mean, I know it's sci-fi, but for sci-fi fantasy, I group that style to like classic genre stuff. And thinking of this episode specifically and the cool like underground city and just the look of it and that creature, and I think it nails kind of the feel that you get when you look at that art, which I think is also why like Loki was so appealing, especially when they were in that like kind of 70s-ish, what is it, the Time Bureau or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Or that's not what they called it though.
No, it's not what they
Time
called
Bureau
it.
is Time Bureau is either DC or Umbrella Academy. They all have the same organizations, but they have different names for it. But anyway,
it was like the TVA.
TVA.
Yeah. But like when they showed the weird world that the TVA specifically existed in, and it's straight out of like 50s, 60s, 70s sci-fi cover art, and I don't know, whatever. That's my rant.
All right.
With his one eye that didn't blink right, I'm not sure what that was in reference of, but it makes me think of.
Oh no, it's back. Hey.
I swear, the face I'm making is not that goofy. So this is embarrassing, but it's not super embarrassing because it's not my fault. See, here's my normal face.
And then you start laughing, and it just gets so much better / worse.
Anyway.
He was talking about the luck dragon and how the one eye didn't quite blink
Oh,
in
right,
sync.
right.
Yeah.
This episode continues the like, you get some puppetry, a little bit of puppetry, but also like pretty stellar CG.
Mm-hmm. There's an awful lot of creatures living on a planet that was supposed to have been destroyed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Gamork is probably one of the most nightmare-inducing puppets I've ever seen.
That's the
wolf that
wolf,
works for the nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it just like breathes but doesn't like really say, like there's no like his voice is not matching his mouth at all, and that's almost making it more nightmarish. I don't know.
Yeah. He's got too much snout wiggle going on.
Too much snout wiggle. I mean, that's just a problem I have on a Tuesday, so. Snout wiggle,
Too much snout wiggle.
Yeah. That's what got me kicked out of the army. It's my snout wiggle. We're sorry. You have too much snout wiggle to be a sniper. None of this is true. Weird, huh?
Good. That's what I'm here for. I straight up ran out of stuff to say, which is not a good thing on a podcast.
About the Mandalore?
About the mythosaur on Mandalore.
Mythosaur on Mandalore. I just keep trying to figure out what Katie Sackhoff's name is in the show.
Yeah.
It's really bothering me.
I love how they give droids personalities.
Yeah. Oh, and then
and-
they had the mechanic in there. She's
Yeah.
great
Right.
every time we see her.
Right.
I love them having a scaredy cat droid. It's wonderful. I hope they keep him forever.
Yes.
Yeah, I like the scaredy cat droid too. Because
Bo-Katan. Sorry.
that makes me like feel like selling those things is morally wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Robot or not, he clearly has feelings and his own like thoughts and emotions. He's dealing with fear. He's afraid. So
Yeah.
maybe selling him, it's just a bad look.
Yeah.
Whoops, I didn't mean to do
Scarred 2D2.
that. Yeah. PTSD2, PTSR2D2.
PTSD2. Oh no. And dude is actually not falling apart. Dude fell in a hole, was surrounded by cavemen trolls, and still works. Got
Yep.
baby Grogu Yoda to Bo-Katan's castle. You know?
Yeah.
Heck of a
wanna
navigator, that one.
15 to 20 minutes of Baby Yoda just zooming around in his floating baby cart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see it. It's fun.
It was. And Holly was just like, how's that work? Can he just fly straight up? Like, where's the magnets work? It was like, he could just do whatever he wants. He's Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is she was asking about magnets. How do they work?
How do they work? How do they work? Yeah.
I told you, you can't mention magnets without ICP popped in my brain, and it is an affliction. No, yeah, it is interesting because, yeah, you just like that's a drop. So it just can hover. He has control.
Just go
over
right
it.
back up. So he never had to fall in the first place, really.
Right. It's interesting. I expected a little bit more of like, nah, I mean, it'd be boring because you'd just be watching Baby Yoga.
Baby yoga is something.
You'd just be
totally
watching Baby
different.
Yoga.
I don't
It's
think
boring.
that we have that the
They're not good
FCC
at
has
it.
approved of Baby Yoga.
They keep falling
for
over.
mass consumption. Yeah.
They can't do
They
a single
have
downward
not
dog.
because they're too flexible when they're babies, and so you're not
Right.
supposed to actually do yoga with babies because it can overstretch their tendons. Okay.
I like that Melanie's got the facts.
Yeah. There's way too much snout wiggle.
Yep.
That's why you can't do baby yoga.
That's right.
Flexi tendons and too much snout wiggle.
Yeah. I think you just came up with a title for this episode.
There's been so many this episode.
Flexi tendon snout wiggle.
Ironically, I had like no ideas. So like right now the stream's just TV and movie talk. Grawlix Nights is effective.
Ooh.
We had some numbers in here for a second.
Yeah, we did.
But if we had, snout wiggle flippadoo danderon, well, that's a whole different thing.
Right. As played by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Of course.
Yeah.
I put that in there.
Any of those names played by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Every
Or
time I
David
hear his
Tennant.
name, it makes me think of, what's that? The English. I think you mentioned him earlier. Talk show host guy, like a.
Oh,
nighttime
Graham
talk show.
Norton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
him being on there, and they read some tweets from people, and there was some chick
yeah.
talking about being able to smell him and his cumber musk. And that's what pops in my head now every time I hear his name.
Cumber Musk.
I bet it's refreshing yet slightly sour.
It's spicy, but
I think of it, it's got to be pretty
Verb.
good because cucumber melon's like the best, but there's no melon, so I'm assuming that it's not as great. It'd be like if I married him, I would be like cucumber melon, and it would be amazing.
Be Melanie Cumberbatch. Call me Cucumber Melon.
it's a cucumber melon patch.
Yep. One of my
Benedict
tattoos.
Cumberbatch's cucumber melon patch.
Yep. Now we just
That's
gotta get
just a gardening show waiting to happen. You're welcome, world.
Get on that Cumberbatch.
What am I going to do with all these? Make pickles. Duh.
Those are delicious.
Pickle batch. So, what else is going on, guys? Do we have more to say about Mandalorian? I will say that, man, it's too short. I know, like they do fluctuate in time. This episode felt way too short.
Right.
I was not ready for it to be over.
Yeah.
I agree. It was just like the first one was so much, everything, right? And then this one was like 2 locations. No, I guess 2.5 because you did see the castle again.
Right. Yeah, it was focused, but it was like, it was focused. It was a little adventure. There was some action. It was a good time. I liked it.
Yeah, I think they had to end it where they did though, because they were like, "Oh, this thing just happened, and that's just got to be the end because we can't
Right.
have it not be the end."
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like a gangster. Yeah, see.
Nah.
Eh.
Nah. Drigo, hubbubub, huggapub, cracks,
Huggapub?
drickodong. Nah. Those are my gangster henchmen.
Perp Frekadank, get over here. Bring Flippodendron with you.
Hondo Stabadoo. 24 Stabadoo.
24.
Wait.
Do that. What's the password? It's Bib Frickalon.
It sounded like you said Hondo stabbed a dude, and that was great.
Hondo Stabadoo.
Yeah.
Holly just looked in here like, what?
This is the quality entertainment we're giving out into the world.
That's right. That's right. We're live. We're doing this live.
We're doing this live, and there's no taking it back.
No. You get a Bib Frickalon whether you want one or not.
The fact that you get this for free, humanity is peaked right
Yeah.
now. Yeah. Our viewers deserve one of those too.
Just
Shrug.
eh?
So
Yeah, we're still reacting to the chat from 20 minutes ago.
yeah, the chat hasn't really been a whole lot. Hey Turner, what's going on?
We just said that, and then we go like, bing, new one.
Chat's back. We got 15 more minutes of stuff to react to.
Yeah,
Look, he's rolling and crying and laughing. Okay.
yeah.
That's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
sometimes don't you feel like
A big
Lacking.
bowl of magic spoon? Why,
You're-
yes, I do.
if there was suddenly a big bowl of Magic Spoon right next to me, that'd be
Oh.
amazing.
It would be magically amazing. What
Oh,
else
you
could
know-
be magically or psychedelically or whatever amazing?
Ooh.
Drugs.
What?
So,
Wait for the story. Wait for the story. We're not
So
endorsing.
yeah. Recent studies have shown some promising results treating depression, PTSD, addiction, and several other mental health conditions with psychedelics. But they don't really know how they work, but that's okay because they don't really know how most medicine works, to tell you the truth. But the assumption is that they help by increasing the connections between neurons. And with these ones specifically, they spark the growth of dendrites that receive the signals. So the other pharmaceutical drugs target the same areas, which is usually the serotonin receptors. but those ones don't promote dendrite growth. And so now they think they know why, with this new research that just came out of UC Davis. So the receptor for serotonin is the 5-H2TA, and it is also activated by prescription drugs, and then psilocybin, LSD, MDMA, DMT, and ketamine. But the psychedelics, unlike the prescription drugs, they have, this is what they found, actually affects the receptors from within the brain cell. And everything else just kind of hits it from the outside. And apparently it seems like it's that inside, being able to get inside the brain cell is what actually gets the growth to occur. And then more connections can be created to rewire your brain from, like, you know, away from the bad paths and just into new, healthier paths, which is why they think that it works.
So not being totally like dependent on stuff like Prozac, which affects your serotonin production or whatever.
Right. Yeah, because it's not just affecting the production, it's protecting, it's growing, making new growth from the brain cells in those specific receptors, so they can make new connections and still absorb serotonin. It's not actually upping your serotonin, it's just making it easier for them to absorb, and then also to form, it's the forming of new connections which they really think is the big difference between these and what's currently available, why they think these would be better. And the main thing is that knowing this, they should be able to target more specifically for future, treatments. And maybe they don't really know if they can, but of course they want to make it so that you don't have to hallucinate when you take them. But I don't necessarily think that that's the way to go personally. I think a little hallucination maybe helps people get through some stuff, but that's my personal opinion. That's not even Grawlix's. Don't, put it on everybody. But that's what they're hoping, is they can bypass the hallucination and just get to the healing. So.
Well, you can't get on the road to wellness without taking a trip.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can by getting yourself a big old bowl of Magic Spoon.
Where did this Magic Spoon come from? Why Magic Spoon? It's so like
it just
random.
seems like that's the one that everybody's shilling now. Is just like
right, right.
Because we were talking about sponsors earlier, and yeah,
it is.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say no. It is current hotness. NordVPN's kind of, they seem like they maybe died down on their
oh right.
Whatever a little bit. Do you
Not
remember
Raycon.
back?
Raycon will never give up.
That's true. Raycon pops up in there quite often.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh god, yeah, them all the time. What was that mattress? That was very much. That was specifically podcast for a long time. That mattress company. They were. I feel
cool
like
mattress or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Is that the one? Chill mattress or something like that?
I can't recall, but it seemed like they were one of the first ones to jump on like big time podcast advertising. There was mattress advertisements on all the shows I was listening to for all the shows that were big enough to have sponsors for a time.
I don't know. I never really.
I mean, if I was just taking my AG1s, I wouldn't have to have a big old bowl of Magic Spoon cereal.
AG1s.
AG1s. One scoop of vitamins and minerals to start your day off right.
Oh, Turner, those vaping ones, dude, bane of my existence. They've actually laid off that one recently, but when I'd watch YouTube using the Chromecast on the TV, they have short ads, and every ad break, it'd be, that's metal in your lungs.
I got my whole family doing that. Like, they hear that, and that's what they all do.
Every single time they play that. And it's like, are you getting your money's worth? Hey, are you... I hope you're getting your money's worth advertising that to me constantly. As I vape and watch your show. Stop it. You're wasting money.
If you use the appropriate wires, you're not getting metal in your lungs.
It's because I know what I'm doing and I'm not 15.
Yeah.
Stop advertising to me.
bootlegged THC ones either. That's not a good idea. Don't buy bootleg.
Right. By the way, I'm not vaping THC stuff on the stream. I never vape THC stuff. I can't do that anymore. So
It's okay.
it's the boring vape. It just tastes good. It doesn't. It's not fun.
Yeah, Randy only
But you
gets
can
it
take a
online.
trip to wellness.
Yes.
MeUndies and Manscaped.
MeUndies, yeah.
MeUndies was a big one. Manscaped is the other one I see fairly often
That's
on some of the channels I
Manscaped
watch.
is a big one right now.
What's
Mm-hmm.
MeUndies? Is that like comfy balls?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was underwear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily comfy balls specifically, but it was
They
underwear.
don't have those in America, but they should.
MeUndies is more about like his and hers, right? Like you and your partner can be wearing the same underwear and it's cute, right?
Oh, was it? Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I didn't know that. But I mean, sure, why not? Wear what you want to wear. You guys can wear skirts. I don't mind. I don't think you're less manly.
They look comfortable.
I know they do. We've had this conversation before.
Big skirts, though.
I
Not
don't
little
think they
tight
are, but
skirts.
Go ahead.
I don't want to wear a skirt. It might look comfortable, but it's not going to look cool on me.
And I feel like on a hot day you're gonna need a lot more like Gold Bond powder or whatever.
Right.
You know,
Right.
just like
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Just
Women
go with
need boxers.
What?
Women need boxers.
Women have boxers. Dude, I used to wear boxers. When I went to Catholic school, I wore boxers under my skirt every day.
Instead of regular underwear?
No, I had regular underwear on too. I wear underwear, boxers, and then a skirt. Because
I guess-
you have to do push-ups and stuff. I'm not going to be flashing the school while I'm doing push-ups.
It's true. I guess regular underwear is important for ladies, too. Women have different concerns than I do when it comes to how their stuff is covered and protected. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not upset about it at all. You guys kind of got the raw deal when it comes to like maintenance. Anyway, so hey,
Yeah.
I don't really have anything interesting coming up to mention, so
Me either. I'm boring.
just
Oh,
kind
me either.
of hanging out.
Yep.
Hey, if you want to hear more or find links to where you can find us elsewhere, go to grawlixpodcast.com. It's GRAWLIX podcast.com. Electronicmediacollective.com. I'll throw that out there. And patreon.com/Grawlix podcast. It's been a while since I checked in on that. I'll need to.
If you do buy a box of Magic Spoon, let them know that the Grogs Podcast sent you.
Use a promo code. We'll just say Grawlix podcast. I say,
Give Grawlix a chance.
Give Grawlix a chance. Hashtag give Grawlix a chance.
And also, if you need anything to read or watch or listen to or play, go to Humble Bundle with our affiliate link. And you can also help out some charities while you buy some entertainment.
Yeah.
Turner says on Snapchat they always put fitness clothes ads at the bottom of every one of his videos. That's annoying. That's what it, like.
Doesn't
I
do that
guess-
to me, but I'm not into fitness.
Well, I was gonna say, but yeah,
Fitting this pizza into my mouth. It's all pizza.
Turner's fit, so it makes sense. That's what they're advertising. But it's like I feel like it's different now. But for a while, Hulu, it's almost like they just didn't have the ads to run, or they didn't know what to advertise me. They just run the same ad or ads every commercial. And I'm like,
Right.
is that really a good use of the time and money? Like, if I haven't checked it out, the first 100 times, the 101st time is not going to convince me. Stop
yeah,
it.
and I'm not a fan of ads anywhere, but especially on like phones. But I have some apps and or games where they have ads that you can watch an ad to gain a thing, like purposely. I don't like it when they just pop them out at you. But when if I choose to watch an ad so I can gain a thing, then that's fine. Sometimes they don't even have any. I'm like, where are all the advertisers? Why aren't they advertising on any of this? Because you'll be like, oh, sorry, check back in another 30 seconds. And I'm like, I'm not sitting here playing around every 30 seconds checking stuff. It's not going to happen.
You show me an ad now.
Yeah, if I'm going to do it, I'm doing it now.
That's at least a good way to get around the whole pay to win thing, right? That way they can be like, it's not pay to win. Sure, you can pay and get this stuff, or you can watch an ad. So, I mean, at least
I agree.
I get that, like, if it's a free app, the free app is the thing you get for watching the ads. But man, there are a lot of apps that really have abused that. So at least the whole like, watch this to get this. At least it's a more
it's much better
recognizable benefit.
Yeah, because like, for example, my Asian game that I've been playing for years that I have grandchildren in, you know, there's some things that you can only get if you have paid. And I'm like, okay, so the only people who are ever going to be at the top of this game are the people who pay. That sucks. I totally would drop this game if I hadn't already invested years and had grandchildren. You know what I mean?
That's your waifu game.
Yes.
That's also how the like games as a service gets you. It's the whole like, what do they call it? The sunk cost fallacy or whatever. Like, I would drop it, but I've already invested literally logging into this game every day for years. And I don't want to lose that progress or whatever. That's how they get you. There's been a couple interesting videos on,
Well, they got me.
especially lately, Zero Punctuation. They do like not Zero Punctuation, the Escapist YouTube channel. But they have the Zero Punctuation, whatever, famous video game reviews and stuff. But they've done a few videos on like games as a service lately because it seems like that business model's starting to fail, finally. So yeah, I don't know, whatever. That's kind of been, I watched a couple videos on that, so that's fresh in my mind. And yeah, no, it sucks because they do use like the logging in every day, the constant like daily events and whatever else crap. And, you know, and I watched a video today, a recent video on it about why that model is kind of dying. And it's like, if the idea is like, you've got X amount of games that want you to log in every day and grind for a couple hours every day, how many games do you think a single person is really going to be able to support that model, that whole thing?
Right.
And it's the idea of kind of it hitting its saturation point. And it's like people either aren't interested or they've got other of those games they're already playing. They don't want to jump on another one.
It's ironic because it's all like mining your willpower, and yet these games are kind of designed to erode your willpower. And so it's like messing up their own market a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, there's a lot of like, what do they get it? Or what's the term for it with like, it's got a cool term for like.
Diminishing returns?
Well, I was going to say dark design or something like that, where it's the whole like user interface design that's like meant to steer you towards spending more money or whatever, stuff that doesn't benefit you. It's manipulating the user through, you know, UI design and whatever else, and then all the
Like
little
casinos. Sorry.
like casinos. The little like ding pop things that make your brain go ooh for half a second, you know?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
a lot of these games just blatantly abuse that. So
Yeah. Our stupid brains get all excited from noises and sounds. Darn it.
that's why there's so many games where you unlock a thing, and sometimes it's random, sometimes it's not random, but it's always like a chest or something that's like boom pop and with a bunch of little sparklies and stuff, like regardless what it is and what game it is. A couple weeks ago I was playing what was it? Injustice. I think it was Injustice 2. And there's like lots of like gear unlockables in that as you play through, and it's always like, you know, you gotta deconstruct the mother box, and it's like pops, and then like this flashy stuff comes up, and I'm like, you're
The mother box.
Oh yeah,
does sparkle explosions.
yeah,
Like,
oh yeah. It's like you're hitting me with those
the
like
boom tube. uses sparkle explosion
Oh, yeah.
technology from Acropolis.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. They're manipulating us all the time.
They are.
How are we going to find the
Yay.
anti-life equation otherwise?
You're right.
It's all Darkseid, just making us work for him.
Die for Darkseid.
Die.
Die for Darkseid. Okay. I think we're
And on
good.
that note,
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Die for Darkseid.
die for Darkseid, anti-life, magic spoon.
We're definitely not getting Magic Spoon now. Anti-life, dark spoon, Magic